Gay Questions for Gay Boys, the podcast. Welcome to yet another exciting episode. Out here in a park. My name is Yamakhosi, and as you can see,
Makhosetive.
as you can see, I'm here with my friend Yamakhosetive for this episode. Just a disclaimer: we are out in a park, and yeah, you will hear birds chirping. You will hear, what are they called? Hadidas. You will hear a hadida, one of the most annoying birds ever. You will see people passing. People are out here bragging, so we are in the vibes of things outside in nature. We also hear cars passing, but most definitely you'll hear this conversation. And thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm okay.
How are you feeling?
I could be better, but life is lifing, and I don't have any major challenges currently, so that's good. I don't have any mental breakdowns. We have to appreciate mental health. Most people are struggling with that.
Definitely.
Especially in our community.
Definitely. And especially with what has been happening 2025 into 2026, it's just been a lot.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you want us to discuss? What are some of the things that you are looking forward to the podcast? We've been saying an episode is coming out, finally we are trying to drop this one. It's been a
challenges.
It's been exactly, I wanted to say that. But please make sure that you're part of the family throughout. We are on all our social media platforms. Just look for Gay Questions for Gay Boys, especially on our YouTube. Make sure you go to Gay Questions for Gay Boys. Click on subscribe, like, and share the content. And we are really happy to start the conversation flowing, and you can join the conversation all the way. You can tag myself, it is at Yamakhosi, and it is at Makhosetive on all social platforms.
And also we won't be only discussing gay related issues. We'll be discussing all social issues that affect us directly and indirectly, because we also contribute towards the economy, politically, and all other spheres. So we'll be discussing all those things, especially if they directly and indirectly affect us at the end of the day.
Definitely.
As you were asking about 2025 and leading to 2026 issues that were affecting gay people, I think number one, the Trump administration. And I think you can speak more on it because you were affected.
Definitely. I say your piece first. What about the Trump administration?
Okay. But I just want to focus on all the negative impacts on the LGBTI community, and also I don't know if this term is correct, but the LGBTI rights that were affected in America and outside America, especially where they are funding the LGBTI people. I don't like the LGBTI rights
thingy. We'll unpack it.
Please, because I feel good. We are humans, therefore it should be human rights for everyone. But
I sort of see why it would be LGBTQI rights. I don't want to say disassociated, but like separated from human rights, because I see your view when you say it should be human rights, and I understand that. But I think for the sake of certain conversation, it needs to be focused. It needs to be called LGBTQI rights, even though we are part of the human beings. But starting with what you said about the Trump administration, listen, it has been hell from somebody who is in South Africa, and who has been affected or impacted by it. I've seen the negative impact of the decision choices that the administration has made, and it has affected and I've done a few interviews on radio about it. It has put a dent, I don't say even a dent, but I think it has pulled back the sort of gains that have been made in South Africa as well. As far as LGBTQIA, as far as health is concerned, right? Because we're receiving funding from the USAID and other American or state-funded agencies, and so that there is data that backs some of the science around HIV and sexual health services for MSMs. So it has been. I've seen the impact because people have lost their livelihoods. Somebody might think, it's funding for gays, which is not true. But also, people have livelihoods out of that funding. Also, why would my thing has been, what made that decision to come to play? Because I'm like, what is the data behind it, and how factual is it? Because I think everything especially the decisions about the cut in terms of funding, they were made haphazardly. I don't think there has been thorough research. I mean, you hear them speak about funding. It sounds like you are funding condoms for gay, and I'm like, but what is the correct terms, or what is the correct conversation when it comes to that? Why was that funding? Because if you not call it Gucci, it is funding for condoms for gays. I don't think that's correct. But why were those condoms there? Why were people in Zimbabwe giving condoms? So why was that funding given to those countries? So I don't think it's for what they thought it's for, or what they say it's for. It goes beyond that. So I think it was haphazard, and you definitely see the impact because people have lost their jobs.
Yeah, and I've also seen a few comments saying, why do they fund men who sleep with other men? They forget the very same men who are sleeping with other men, they also sleep with women.
Yeah.
That's where the funding comes in, to prevent the infection, the HIV infection rise, and STIs and STDs.
That's what I'm saying. It's a mess because you see that is what it should. So what the administration should have done is further investigate why are we giving South Africa money for a program that is for MSMs, right? For face value, it is for MSMs. But deeper than that, why are we funding them? And what is the research? What is the data? What is the science? And then take a decision from that. Because, I mean, cutting it, it's okay, I cut it, if you take it with the money, but what of the impact that we have made as far as that is concerned? So
and taking back the money affects the some of the things that you want to manage. Like South Africa is known for unemployment. As a government, why are you quiet when someone takes such a decision, which will further increase the numbers of unemployment, whereas you are trying to address that issue? So I think even our government failed when it comes to address the real impact of Trump taking the money.
I feel like our government is ass-kissing at some point, because it's like you know that you cannot stand strong as a state when it comes to such issues, but yet you are comfortable with the stance that the US is taking. It's like, but what about you? Where's your backbone? And also, out of you've received funding for, let's say, for conversation's sake, over 30 decades. What have you done so far, and what from yourself? What are the gains, and what have you done to put in place to sustain yourself? So, what is the sustainability plan when it comes to that? Because you must have had a contingency plan, which should this come to an end. Because yes, we agree it was not going to be forever, granted, but in it not being forever, what did South African state do? What did Pretoria do to say, when Washington takes this funding away, we will then supplement it with this?
Because also HIV is a problem. It is a problem
in Africa, especially.
In Africa, yes. And the reason why this funding came is because they wanted to decrease the number of infected people. So if now this happens and people are excited that at least it was funding for men who sleep with other men, so it does not affect me. But the overall thing is that it will affect you whether you like it or not. Because if we continue sleeping with other men and women. We are transferring the virus, and the number will skyrocket again. But it is what it is. And I'm glad that most people are engaging in the conversation and they are trying to educate people. I've seen a lot of videos on TikTok trying to raise awareness in terms of that and how it impacts everyone, not just the gay community. Because there were people that were straight who were employed by these organizations, and they were supporting their families and all of that. But another country that was in the news last year is Australia. Because it ended its ban on anti-LGBTI blood donation or blood donors. In Australia, gay people were not allowed to donate blood.
Really?
Yeah. And also the state members were forced to recognize same-sex marriages, which I assume they were not.
They were not. I thought you think
I thought it's Australia and
it's a progressive country.
No. South Africa is a
South Africa. Listen, I think South Africa has a beautiful constitution. But that's the problem. A beautiful constitution. What's happening on the ground? It's
opposite of the constitution.
It doesn't as Shadani, man.
It's not marrying
it's
one
not,
another.
No, it's not.
It's a toxic relationship.
It's a very toxic relationship. I would have thought that Australia would have done better.
Yeah.
Also, why did they not want blood from people that are gay?
Well, I think I've done a history of HIV before, and that's HIV came or was firstly known as a disease that affects men who sleep with other men.
Yeah.
That's why at first, before it was HIV and AIDS, it was called gay what illness. Really.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the fear was, if it is a fear indeed, that gay men have HIV and AIDS. I think to them it means when you are born gay, naturally you are HIV positive.
HIV.
Yes, so you'll pass it through. So I think that's where the fear was, if indeed it was a concern about that and not a discrimination. But obviously it is a discrimination if now they are forced to recognize their mistakes and accept blood. But what if now you go and donate blood and they throw it away because you don't know, you won't see.
We need to dig deeper into that
and check
and see. And it would be interesting to find out which other country has such laws. So it's such crazy laws, but which country also has such laws. That's interesting.
Another the same-sex marriage, Australia. Why so late, 2025? Was it allowed but not recognized? Because they say here they were forced to, the state members were forced to recognize it.
That's an interesting one. But also, we can not. I don't say we can forgive Australia. Yes, we can forgive them because at least they came to the party in 2025.
Yeah.
There are still some other countries that don't even.
Yeah.
Uganda, for instance, Ghana, for instance. There's a lot when we speak in as far as the African the African continent is concerned. But as I'm saying, we can forgive Australia for coming to the party so late. But it would be interesting with you why. For me, it's like, why would you enforce such laws? What is the science and the data behind it?
Yeah.
If you are putting, for instance, going back to HIV, if you see that in South Africa, the number of people that are infected are this much, and you are but you are putting in funding to help that, it's because there was data that informed that decision to put in funding to help manage and keep the spread. But with LGBTQIA plus rights, what informs the state to say no to same-sex marriages? What's the science behind it? Did somebody go and do research and say, oh, my game is lower, so asibaniki because badlana bodwa?
And also why? Ilimazaban, if we are married.
That's my point.
Do we affect the economy?
People, funny, we are part of the biggest people that are participating in the economy. In all the countries. It doesn't mean that with the, what is it called, a pink rain. It doesn't mean that a pink rain doesn't contribute into the economy.
Yeah,
it does.
Money has no name.
Money has no gender. Money has no sex. So what do you mean? What informs that decision to say anti same-sex marriages?
Yeah,
it's quite interesting.
Yeah, because when we get married, are we not chipping into the economy as well? We are paying a hell lot of money.
We are employed.
To have beautiful weddings.
Yes,
and
we are also employed.
Yeah. Besides that, after we get married, we have to buy a house. We have to buy cars. We are chipping back
kids to
school. We adopt kids from straight people. They neglected them and we adopt them, we take them. So we contribute more than.
Yeah.
But that's not the debate. Africa never seems to miss a spot in any dilemma. We have Kenya here, which was also forced to recognize trans people. That's a good one for trans people.
Which is a great move for our trans people.
Yeah.
I mean, again, for me, what was the science for them to not? Goes back to the thing, which it's human rights. Why does me being trans take away my belonging into having human rights? Like why would Kenya, make but also
you are taking attention from the real women. That's how they call it. That's why America does not recognize trans people now, because you are taking away the attention from the real Babis and Gonch. Abantu abanikwe leso No, abanikwa isikhundla like kuloko kufanele wena. Like the right people for or people who are carrying the sex, who are representing the true definition of this particular sex or gender.
Really?
That's the argument on TikTok, Twitter. Trans men are not real men. Trans women are not real women. As if it makes any difference. We have real women, straight women who are neglecting their children and neglecting their responsibilities as women, and we have trans women who are thriving in that category, doing the things that are expected from the real women. So why are you not recognizing the good side of everything rather than questioning? That is my conversation.
Yeah.
Why don't you recognize? You know, if they were saying trans women are molesting this and that, you know, anything that is negative, I would support the movement.
And back it up with my problem
data.
is back it up with data so that we say 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, like 100 people are doing that, and therefore that's where we come from. But if it doesn't have data and it's based on an observation,
they will say trans women can't give birth, as if real women were meant only for that.
Ooh,
they can't give
I see
birth.
what you mean.
Yeah, so what's the point? Do you want women to exist, or you want them to use them to make these kids?
So you must be a woman because you can give birth.
Yeah, as if it's a production company. You need to produce something in order to be recognized as a woman. It means even women who are barren, is it the correct way?
I don't know. We apologize if it's not.
Yeah, if it's not the correct way. They don't recognize them as women, even though they are born naturally women. It means men don't recognize that, or whoever it is that is taking these decisions. If you are a real woman and you can't give birth, you are not a real woman.
Guys.
So and most women are supporting this, but they are missing the point. If you are saying trans women can't give kids, that's why we are saying they are not real women. What about you and naturally you can't give kids? What is
what
this
about
government
then somebody
saying?
says what if then somebody says you're not comparing apples to apples? What you are comparing is a biological occurrence that a woman is supposed to give birth, and if they can't, it does not take away the fact that they are not women, right? Versus somebody that is born into their wrong sex because they were assigned this sex of birth, but they are not, because gender is a social construct, and the gender that they identify with is a woman. So what if somebody then comes and says, but that's where your argument is.
What is the argument? I still don't understand the argument. Maybe that's why I'm
saying to this point.
Yeah.
The point I need to a woman is a woman because they can give birth.
Yeah.
And you are saying, but even if what if then naturally you can't give birth, then what does it say about you? Does it say that you are a woman?
Oh, no.
Versus somebody that is assigned woman at birth and transitions and says, or rather made at birth and then transitions and says, I'm a woman, because they can't naturally give birth. Also, who says they can't naturally give birth? Because they can still conceive, can't they?
Yeah, I think the issue is that they can't give birth. Even if they do, good. Even if they do conceive, but most of them cannot bore the kids. Like, yeah. Or even if they do, baba belega bantwana, but aba survive. Yeah. So either bayabelega or baba is still born.
I got you.
Yeah. Some can't even conceive at all. So that's where my debate is. But as long as now Kenya was forced to recognize trans people, it's a good thing. It's a green light for the trans people across the board. It does not only speak of Kenya, because once an African country is forced to do that, it makes things easier for Africans, the neighboring neighboring Africans countries.
Yeah.
And South Africa also does not seem to be out of the black book.
Out of the spotlight.
No, lo mntwana ohlezi aka principal. Yes, yo South. Yes, Kataza. So South Africa, it has health crisis in Gauteng. It had, I don't know if they were resolved, but it had a health crisis in Gauteng particularly. There were clinics that were discriminating against LGBTI people, and they denied them access to the services. Gauteng. So I tried I tried to check which clinics who did that. They're not giving us the data or the names. Maybe abafuna abantu bayoba attack, but they are in Gauteng.
Why?
What do you mean? Why?
Here's what we have when you spoke about the Trump administration. What the Trump administration, not Trump, but what the US before the Trump administration aided us as South Africans to do. I don't want to speak about my work, but at work we used to have this thing called KP friendly facilities, key populations friendly facilities. What we do is we identify in Gauteng, actually everywhere in the world, or rather in South Africa, identify a clinic, a government clinic, or a government health institution. Go there and give them sensitization training. Sensitization training basically meaning that we help that clinic or health institution to in training help them better give service or better give service to people who are part of the key populations community. And what we used to do is identify them and go out and provide training so that we don't have such incidences where somebody who's gay and trans, when they go there and then they cannot be given service just because they identify or just because they are gay or just because they are trans. So that's what you've been. So it's crazy to find out in Gauteng because we are almost done with Gauteng. Yeah. Most of the clinics in Gauteng have been given the green light as far as training them and the whole stuff, from the security guard to the receptionist to the nurse to the person that draws out the file to the doctor. Everybody has been given that. If I have the data, we'll try and pull it up and put it on the thing to show which ones did we do, hopefully with permission from work. But that's what we've been doing. So it's crazy to find out still in Gauteng there are clinics that don't want to give people who are.
You can give, but there's this saying, you can take a donkey to the river, but you can't force it
to drink water.
Yeah, something like that. You train them, but do they accept it fully? Because my other problem is that once you are employed by the government, for me, when you are at work, your I want to say values and morals, especially your
principle.
Yes. Forget about who you are at home. Yeah. Now you are here. You are serving. You are representing the government.
Forget about who you are at church.
Yeah.
Because I think most of them, it is home and church. Forget about who you are when you're at home.
Your culture. Forget about that, because when you are here to serve everyone, irrespective of who they are, where they are from, gender, sex, whatever. Those issues do not matter. That's why I always have a problem when at my workplace or some of my colleagues will discriminate against a gay child. Why do you have that? Because you are representing the Constitution itself. The Constitution says to you, do not discriminate against anyone. And when I'm at work, I represent the Constitution. When I'm here, I represent my own values and morals. But when I'm at work, I lose them and I adopt the Constitution. That's how I carry myself. I become a professional and a resource to that space. So now when you discriminate and you are representing the government, you are employed and paid by the government. Tax wabantu abadala wena so that you can have a livelihood. Naqeda wena you discriminate against the very same people who are supporting you. Who are you? So I always have a problem. People need to consider that if you don't want, you can work in the private sector.
But it doesn't also excuse you, because
of course, because the Constitution governs everyone, private and public, you understand. But at least you can get away with it because they have their own policies, as private sectors.
Which is another conversation you must have.
Yes. Why do you have policies such as that? So, to just don't work and hate people, sit home and hate people. I'm sure you want to hate. So we are M70. But because you say, I can't help you.
Also, what brings you to that conclusion? It's your own prejudices. I feel like you are.
Keep them to yourself. When you're at work, that's an opinion. We don't even want to know if it's a prejudice or what. It's your own opinion. Keep them to yourself. We don't. We also had a challenge with Home Affairs. We had Home Affairs. We had those people who.
They're not conductors.
Yeah, we call the term. Bebangafuna ukushatisa gays and lesbians because bathi culture yabo ibavumeli sonto labo. Now say Home Affairs, you are in a government state-owned. Whatever you don't want to say it's me. The person is paying tax.
Speak about the church thing as well, and speak about African spirituality versus, because the very same church, the people that put the church in Africa, traveled with the Bible and the guns in the same ship as they came into South Africa, into Africa, for you to even boldly speak about the church,
Yes.
you are speaking about a foreign concept, which I don't want to mention.
Yeah, we are not there.
A conversation about spirituality and other things, and I want
Yeah.
to find out where do Amakela wati wana, and I think it's going to be your favorite topic. Lamakela wati wana unkulunkulu is there. As you roll your eyes, Amakela wati wana they are for God and God is for them and they are Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. Nalamake and people who are LGBTQI who have said that they are no longer part of the LGBTQI and
They found God.
They found God. We should speak about them. Like,
I
that's a
always
foreign
question that
concept.
statement, Guti. So when you were gay, you did not recognize God, or you were not a Christian then, you are a Christian now. It's questionable. You can't be.
Is dichotomy the right word? I don't know. But it's like
Does not make sense.
let's
Let's not go
pack it there.
deeper.
Let's finish
Papa.
this one. Let's finish this one.
Yeah, so I don't know which clinics. I think we need to find out which clinics are those, and let's go speak with the management, not me, but whoever is representing all the structures that represent the LGBTI. Need to find out about those clinics and revisit them if they have been visited before, just to find out what's the problem, especially now because most clinics that were funded by the USAID and are closed, are shut down. So people need to go to public but in
Public health care.
Yes, to find these services. But now, if by neglect or by chigiswa, it's a problem.
Yeah.
I think let's seriously take Sega 2025.
Yeah.
We are here now, 2026. So, Cape Town Pride. I want us to speak about Cape Town Pride, the learner who was expelled in KZN because of being discriminated. For being gay.
Imagine.
And also the gay couple who was attacked in Joburg.
Yeah.
And the last one is Ilano Sky. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name. The one who's the trans woman who's at BBM.
Can we all go vote for her name?
Ilano
Sky. Can we all go? I saw a campaign online of how to vote for her. Please let's go out and vote for Ilano. I hope they don't get eliminated. I'm not a.
I don't watch it as well. But I will vote.
But I will vote. I liked a friend put up a status that said, do you watch Big Brother? Did you see what happened to Big Brother? And then the response was, I'm employed. So I went, that's really savage. But
that's harsh.
We took it from social media. So
so I want us
employed.
to address those. I've never watched Big Brother ever before.
Really?
Never.
Okay, what's your take on Cape Town? What about Cape Town?
Well, I think it's trending now because these are trending topics relating to LGBTI community in 2026. Cape Town is number one, and I think it's because it's coming sooner. I'm not sure about the dates. I've never been to Cape Town.
Coming up on the 28th. You and I are doing Sankofa that weekend.
Hi, Queen.
Hey, King Tar. And Msaki and Somi, we are doing that on the. I can't wait. We're doing that on the 28th of Feb. But Cape Town Pride is coming up. So yeah, thank you. I think okay, my view about Cape Town Pride. I've attended Cape Town Pride before. I think I've attended like 3 years ago. It was great. But my thing is, recently I've been to an interview with somebody from Cape Town about the Gwakanya's case. Gwakanya's, the case was going to court again, but it was then postponed. I think somewhere in March, I'm not quite sure. So this good friend of mine invited us for an interview. My colleague who was speaking on Cape Town, I don't want to say their name, but they were saying how Cape Town Pride is not visible. How Cape Town Pride should have came to the Wakanya's court case that day, or even the previous.
I think they're sorry to interject. The sound we were warning them about. So
it's
please
happening.
don't kill us for that.
It's
we
happening.
are in a public space.
Yeah. So they were saying Cape Town Pride should be there, and Cape Town Pride should have supported the Gwakanya family and supported the LGBTQIA plus movement within the community. And my stance was leave Cape Town Pride alone, and I say it in this sense because Cape Town Pride is commercial, right? The purpose of Pride, well, I think everybody who is a Pride organizer has their own purpose of why they create that Pride. But for me, I think Kaelicha, or where these incidences happen, the community should organize themselves and have pride. So have a community pride that addresses or seeks to address such issues that happened, like in Khayelitsha, where Wakanda lost their lives. So we shouldn't blame these big prides, because big prides are commercial.
They run a business.
They are running a business. The space that they are in does not necessarily allow them, or would not have capacity.
It does not force them.
It does, exactly. You know, you will hear that they are sponsored by this alcohol brand and that food brand and that telecommunications brand. So some of these things they don't really align with the community. But in that community where that incident happened, organize yourselves as LGBTQI plus people and have pride. Have pride because you want to, not only for visibility purposes, because I think that's what a commercial pride is. It's out there for visibility purposes, which is one of their purpose. But you should then have that community pride for purposes of education, for purposes of acknowledgement, for purposes of addressing such issues, to say, we are LGBTQI and we are discriminated against in our own community. The society doesn't see us. And we spoke about stakeholders. Stakeholders that needs to be part of that pride is the church in itself. Because what do you mean? My mother goes to church and I'm a son of or I'm a gay son of that mother, or I'm a gay son of that family. My family goes to, so church should be part of that. Family, when they say charity begins at home, it's not a far-fetched thing. Charity does begin at home. The people in the household who are supporting me, my uncles, my aunts, does that sound again? By the way, the guy is cruising very nicely, unbothered. The family, my uncle, my aunts, my siblings, my grandmother, my grandfather should be part of that pride, because I'm saying to them, I need acceptance, so therefore acceptance should start at home. Especially if my family is modeling that structure that says we are accepting and supporting our child, they should be part of pride. To set an example to other families who are in the community, who are in attendance of pride. If you are an uncle who you don't understand why is your mshana gay, attend the pride so that you can learn. It should be that. So we shouldn't.
It should be educational more than
a parade.
Yes.
We spoke about one of the lives. We spoke about a parade versus a march. What's the significance? And I was like, the parade is more about visibility, because it's Togama shorts, it's Togama bright colors. We are in makeup, we are in crop tops. We are visible to the community, and also I'm a guest. Sometimes they don't have the discrimination that we are facing in Lokshini. So then why do we expect them to understand our pride even better? So we should stand up and invite all these people, the pastors, the churchgoers, the traditional leaders, the sangomas, the school, the clinic. Everybody should
all
be part of
community stakeholders.
They should be involved for that pride to be successful. And it should not, it must be dialogues as well. So because I feel like since the event, basically, and that's what, and shoot me if you want, but that's what it is. Prides I invent, and we should move away from the event. That's why the break or the split. Well, the split has already been there, but that's why Dr. Bev and friends did the whole nostalgic thing, because they were like, then Joburg Pride doesn't serve the purpose anymore. It's different anymore. So from the commercial pride, we need to organize ourselves, have a Hammanskraal pride, have a Soweto pride, have a Mamelodi pride, have a Soshanguve pride, have a Khayelitsha pride, to speak to the community and to address the issues that are happening within the community.
True, I agree with that, because as a school principal, you are accepting the bully, you are accepting the gay child. So meaning in your school you are going to experience homophobic. So avoid it, avoid those things by going to the community, speak against it, educate people about all different learners that you accommodate. You understand? If it's a clinic, your nurses are homophobic and they are serving the community. The principal and the matron are custodian. Even the teacher and the nurse are custodian of the constitution. You serve you are actually on the ground showing people how does the constitution work, and when homophobic because of this and that, you can't do that. You are not representing the constitution. No one will share you. You understand? But now the clinic, right to I'm not saying people should share abantu, but bazok because you are misusing their funds. They pay you to be there. And say visa just because they are gay. But when you take their money, you don't see the gayness. You understand? Because we contribute in the economy.
We do.
We pay SARS. You understand? And isars le yebuye lizobhadela unesi, bhadela uthisha, abafundisi imali bayidlako ibuya kuma-SARS cause lo umkweleko lo ubuya kubani yithi esinika abazali imali bahamba bokweleka ngemali yethu yamagay uyayi-accept imali why ungasho ukuthi angifuni imali ebuya emntwaneni wegay ubatshele kusese you can't do that because you are greedy. You don't want to address real life issues. You understand? Nivika ngebhayibheli, nivika ngeculture, nivika ngesonto. That's BS, honestly speaking. So you are correct, we must host ama-prides kuma-lokishi lasibuya kiyo. That's where you must raise the awareness. And your match should include ama-dialogues. Let's speak about the issues that are affecting. Asekele ukhuluma ukuthi I'm gay and I sleep with other men. Lesbian means you sleep with other. We don't care about that. What are issues that are facing this group of people, and how can you as a community make sure that this does not happen?
We've done the groundwork. You gay,
it does not matter.
We've passed that stage. To your point, what are the issues in the community? Let's speak about those issues in the community. Let's speak about the church that doesn't want to accept or doesn't want to marry people who are gay because the pastor is homophobic or they tell us about that. Also, we should have that conversation about the Bible and all that. Let's talk about why are why were they suspended? Those are the issues that we must speak about. Shy away from trying to. And I hate it when we attended a summit in 2025. And there was a point where a speaker had to speak about do isongi and say sex and I'm like, we are done, guys. And funny in that dialogue, there was people from the church, there was people from the municipality, there were people from the. I'm like, we are so done with that conversation.
Yeah, because the people who are in leadership, they know about this. They are being trained. They are being sensitized. So why do we still continue telling them
It's cartel.
It's boring. It's private conversation that way.
Why are we having that conversation? What else we have issues? That's my take when on your.
And also a school, once a school faces such allegations with discrimination, it should be questionable. You are trained as a principal on how to accept different kids from different backgrounds. You must pride yourself by being inclusive.
To your words, be a custodian of the Constitution.
Represent it fully. Khohlwa ukuthi ubani esontweni wena, khohlwa ukuthi ubani culture yakho. Now la esikoleni you forget about your personal values. You carry the values of the Constitution. That we must run the schools, the clinics and everything that has a government name or attachment to it. Government, you must run it exactly like that. Once you start personalizing it, you have a problem. You must leave. It means you don't want to be here. Because how do you accept a gay child and also accept a homophobic person? What are you trying to do? You must tell the parents before I don't want homophobic kids because I have homophobic gays in my school. Therefore, I'm protecting every child who's here. Nginamasangoma la. Tjelana ma Christian kids wenu ukuthi angeke siyopulisha. We have people who are sangomas. You understand? So nabambona umntwana avuka amadlozi eclassini because bavuka amadlozi these days. Ningamangali, ningabapulishi because nawe na uthandaza usenkingeni. Assembly siyafosiwa ukuthandaza noma thina singabelieve God. You understand?
That's another conversation you must have.
But now you must separate a gay child because they don't identify as a boy and you call the boy assembly. You don't want them to go to the girls' assembly because that's where they feel they belong. They are not okay. You are discriminating. You understand? You violate the same constitution you claim to represent. Your school should be inclusive and they should know once they call separate assemblies, what happens to the gay kids?
What happens to the different kids?
Yes.
Because they cannot only be different for just being gay. There could be
many other things. Yes. Religious background, blah, 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 race and everything. So you must be there at the forefront of everything. You understand? So we also need to have a conversation on that one. The last one, it's Ilano Sky. They say we must vote. Should we vote just because they are trans? Should we vote because they are part of the LGBTI? Or should we vote because they are making an impact on the show? What is the rule? Why do we normally vote? Big brother.
I think we should vote because what do you mean we should not? Should we?
I'm not saying we're not supposed
to.
I'm saying what is the correct way? Why did they start this voting thing? Was it to vote for my housemate
I think so.
Yeah, I'm a housemate. I make an
employed.
impact. What is the reason for you, Big Brother, number one? Why buy a lap? What is the end goal?
I don't know. Is it not too?
I think bafuna umuntu ongakhona engage with everyone but survive to be in the house. So meaning now figure lapha, people will hate you, but when you must make sure that you maintain stable relations so that people keep voting for you to stay. You must be able to attract people. Angazi was the overall thing, because I've never watched Big Brother and I don't know how it works. But I think you must be impactful. People should be able to remember you because of the impact.
You must leave a long-lasting
impression on people, you know. And also, I think people use it to expose themselves. Normally, artists go there because they want to expose their crafts and whatever. So, is Ilana Sky an artist? And what is her purpose to go there? What did she want to achieve? So that we can be able to see if she's achieving that and vote based on that. Or should we just vote because we fall under the spectrum?
I think we should. I think going back to some of the points that you've touched in our conversation, I think for visibility purposes, it's great to see that there are people who are trans in Big Brother. I don't think it has ever happened. I don't think I don't watch Big Brother. I stand to be corrected, and I've not watched it previously. But I think for the purpose of Uti, she's there and she's representing. And I mean, we've seen how much of a sensation she is online for people who are LGBTQI and others. I think it's for that purpose only, from not only that, but from another purpose of the visibility on screen, we should vote. And I'm not saying that there aren't other people who are LGBTQI+, but for her, because she's trans. So we should definitely vote for her as an LGBTQ. And I've seen people going online, pushing the campaign, but also it would be interesting for me to find out, especially if she wins, she'll be the first trans. I don't think it has ever happened. She'll be the first trans contestant to win the show, the Big Brother show. So I think from also that, it's always great to have a gay someone doing something that is sort of that we were not part of. You know what I mean? That is. That has always been Yamantombozana or even Amantombozana or even Abafana. Like such competitions, Big Brother, Idols, and all that. It'll for me, it's always interesting to see that an LGBTQI+ person has won. So I think for part of history, that's why we should vote for her. To just make her the first trans person to.
Yeah, I think my vote will be biased.
The odds, the vote, and they should be biased, but the odds are against us.
Yeah, but mine will be biased and purposely so. Because I want her to win so that she can raise awareness on trans people. Trans people are going through the most as it is. So if we have one person who can fully embody trans sexuality and educate, is it transgender for them? Transgender and educate the masses, because once you win something like that, you get exposure, you get funding or sponsorships rather, and all of those things. So but another thing, I hate sponsors. We'll speak about it sometime. You get sponsorship.
Don't say that you are trying to get sponsorship for the show.
No, I'll tell you why. So once she gets all that attention, she'll be at the forefront of exposing all the toxicity that trans people go through, the challenges and everything on how she wants to be accepted, received, not accepted. No one should accept you. How you want to be received as a trans woman or a trans man. I think she will do a great job once she wins this. Yafana nabo Miss Banban. Once you are a Miss, you represent your own what's the term? I forgot, but whatever it is that you represent, you'll be able to fully embrace, take a stand on it, because now you've been given a public platform and a bigger space. Sponsors, I think Vale sponsors then coming. Sponsors, I don't have a problem with sponsors, but I hate what they do to the person they sponsor, because they want you to live who you represent and who you are, to represent the brand. And that's where I have a problem with sponsors. If you want to sponsor me, you sponsor me because you liked me as an individual and you thought I would do good.
And your brand relates
to what we are doing. So why do you want to change me? I've seen a lot of TikTokers, especially gay TikTokers, who have changed completely their content because of sponsorship. So you lose who you are in order to get a salary.
We must put a pin on this one, because I want us to then, maybe in future conversations, speak about changing. It's like advocacy.
Yeah.
Advocacy for the stomach versus advocacy as work.
For what you stand for.
Yeah, sponsorship for real sponsorship for what you are and what you stand for versus sponsorship for a business. Because we must have a conversation.
That's why I said we'll talk about it.
Back to the Ilano Sky thing, Soulmate. I think it will be difficult for South Africans to receive her, and this is just my observation because she's trans. She already has received hate before she even went to the house. If you remember, people would comment and speak about her private parts and speak about how she's not a real woman. I feel like that's what I'm saying. The votes will be against us. But remember, as LGBTQI, we are in the minority. We are not in the majority. There are people that even who would be allies who would not necessarily vote for her.
Yeah, even gay people who won't vote for her.
There are those
self-hate.
They would want to vote for somebody else just because Ilano, I hope I'm saying that name right. Is trans. They are not a biological or a real woman and all that. And we've seen this in the social media program. So I think the odds are against her, one, but two, there's just too much hate when it comes to the person that she is. Even if people don't know her, but once she starts articulating and saying, this is who I am, and this is what I am, there's just a bit of a thing. So I think it's sinking.
Yeah, and if most people who are de-campaigning, is that the correct way?
Yeah.
Are gay people. People who talk about so that people don't talk about.
Look at Sis Tamara. Where is she? Wait, remember Sis Tamara was a thing. I don't want to speak about others because I don't know their section. Oh, jeez. Living in the streets or by the streets anyway. Sis Tamara, I don't want to speak about others who they are gay or they are what. I don't want to speak about this, but Sis Tamara has been one of those that have been out there about their sexuality and all that. But where is she now? I don't think that Sis Tamara is getting, I want to say, the same attention. I could be wrong, but she is not as big as she was supposed to be or should be. Yeah. So yeah.
That's all from my side for 2025 and 2026, and I don't think we've covered enough, but we start the conversation somewhere. That is what the podcast is about. We start a conversation. Honestly, we need to ask the question and people need to give us answers. Because it's gay questions for gay boys. And but this is a conversation starter type of podcast, and then we engage based on the interactions, the engagement. So please do engage and like, share, and
and do all these things. All right, are we wrapping it up?
From my side, I've wrapped it up, and
we are in a relationship. What would be a couple but with another person? So Thrupple is a love triangle. It's a name partner. I could be corrected. My partner has. I
always tell people, whether you like it or not, you've been a part of Stembu.
Yeah.
Because some of it you did not know about. That's why we're harmed once you find out. Because I'm Vess, I will be allowed to date a bottle. Actually, bottle. So it is still you are being selfish, because when you are getting two of us and I only get one of you.
I will say to me, you are not supposed to write, and this is my view on life in general. My partner is my partner. You're not only allowed to love me.
Obviously. Naturally, you can't do that.
You can't do that. So you are supposed to can love more than one person.